Jeff Slakey, Caleb Houston in studio, Spencer Hughes in our remote Grapeview offices, and City Public Works Director Craig Gregory here. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
We are checking in on things going on. You guys have been busy the last couple of days.
We've had a little bit going on the last couple of days.
Wow, out there. It is really similar at times to this East Coast snows that people are getting. You're starting to see the mounds up, and this is going to be here for a long time, some of these big piles.
Just even cleaning up is going to be an effort for the next probably week or so. Absolutely, and that's if we don't get any more snow.
Sure. Talk to us a little bit about, we've got road crews that have been working, 24 hours a day for the last few days here. Big thanks to all of them, and talk to us kind of how those shifts played out.
Yeah, so what we set up to start with last Friday, and it has been since last Friday, we've been working 24/7 out there on the roads, and we've been running 6-hour shifts, trying to give the guys a little bit of a break and keep them fresh out there so we keep them safe and the public safe. But it has not worked out to stay on those 6-hour shifts at times when we had the real heavy snow and we had some trees down and some other things. We had to keep some people in some longer hours. But for the most part, we've been trying to stick with those and keep everybody safe, and it's been working out really well. Those guys have been putting out just a ton of effort and done such a great job out there cleaning the roads off and keeping everybody moving. Seems
like for the most part, people are appreciative of all the work crews that have been out there digging in and helping dig out. There have, of course, been some detractors and comments I've seen on social media about Public Works coming by with their snowplows and blocking driveways that had been covered. And what was your response to that?
It's going to continue to be difficult. We completely understand people trying to get out of their driveways. We're trying to keep the roadways open. Mm-hmm. But when we come by, there really isn't any place to put the snow other than on the parking strip on the edge of the road, which is normally blocking driveways. And as we continue through this cleanup, we're going to go back out and we've got really one pass through all of town at this point. We finished up last night getting through basically everything. But now we're going to go back and start to widen things out, push things off, and try to open up some of those parking strips, which, once again, we will likely be pushing some snow up into some driveways and having that snow on the edge of the road. So probably not done digging out yet.
It's tough. And the forecast is calling for continued. It's not like it's going to be shorts weather where this stuff's going to melt pretty quick. It's going to be around for a long time.
Yes.
And then that is, like you said, if we don't get anything extra coming through, which is in the forecast. I was just looking at the Weather Service. So
I have been looking at it also, and it looks like early next week we might get another shot of it. So we'll just continue to try to keep everything open.
Go ahead, Spence.
My Amazon flamethrower just arrived at the door. Would you guys be mad if I came out and
that out?
I'm just kidding.
So the other thing, I know you guys have been putting this out on social media, but talk to me a little bit about the decisions when it comes to priority of roads. Main roadways, of course, railroad is a main thoroughfare here in downtown Shelton. How do those determinations get made?
So we've got the emergency snow routes that we try to keep open during an actual event, and then we go to the collector streets. Basically, a collector street, I've been trying to explain to people, on the phone that call in what a collector street is, and it's really a roadway that leads into a neighborhood. So a major, not a huge roadway like we would have Railroad Avenue, Olympic Highway North, something like that, but a roadway that extends into a neighborhood. It would be the main road into a neighborhood. Uh-huh. And then from there, we try to get those open. That's priority number 2. And then priority 3 is getting actually out into those residential neighborhoods and those residential streets. But that's been the priority is we've got a set up route where we've got priority 1 through 3, and priority 1 is the snow routes, the emergency routes during an event. 2 is the collector streets, and then 3 is getting out into those actual residential neighborhoods.
So then when you're in a subdivision, if you will, where you may not have been able to get much out, and there's still a lot of ruts in the low clearance, for the most part, this is kind of and this is what we had to do in my neighborhood, all hands on deck, getting everybody out with whatever type of shovel and equipment that they may have we in our neighborhood were faced with some of the roadways with standing water up to above my ankles. So we dug out some trench lines, try to find our drain systems. We went on Google Maps to do an overlook of when the weather's nice to see if we could find where our drains were in the neighborhood, and then cut lines to them with snow shovels. But when we did that, the water receded very rapidly. Is that a concern you guys have too with some of this snow? If it's over some of the drains, that it's going to take forever to trickle through?
Absolutely, and we ran into that yesterday downtown, especially with some of those drains being covered up. Most of them are covered up. Caleb and I were just talking about trying to find one out here on Coda Street, but we've got crews out trying to locate those and actually get at least a pathway to those right now, knowing that some melt is coming and we're going to have some water out there. But we've got crews out looking for those right now. But it is difficult, especially in the city, and that's one thing we tried to relay to people too. And we try to be sensitive to where we put the snow, but sometimes, we go down into a cul-de-sac or something like that. There really just isn't anywhere to push that snow, so we try to push it, in between a driveway and stack it up in between the driveways, so that we're not blocking anybody. But normally, that's where a catch basin's located. So
you guys are pros down there when you work with these big rigs. How agile are they for you to be able to get the plow and the I don't know, what's it called? What's the technical term for the front shovel thing?
The snowplow.
The snowplow. Okay, sure. You get that in between those types of driveways. I mean, you guys are good, but
they are not agile at all. They are pretty much a fixed unit that is very difficult when you're talking about a 12-yard dump truck with a sander hanging off the back of it and a snowplow hanging, 6 to 8 feet off the front of it.
Yeah.
It's a little difficult to get around, especially when you're stuck in a very small cul-de-sac at the end, or a narrow road that's maybe 20 feet wide during a regular day, and with all of the snow, it's maybe 10 feet wide after a pass through there. So yeah, getting around, it's not that we can get up and down alleys or
lift it, knowing you're going to be right at an entrance. You lift it, you bring it back down, stuff like that. Wow, very interesting.
So it's very difficult out there.
You've had a lot of folks like Domino's brought you guys some pizzas, and of course safety at the foremost here. But if somebody is saying, "Boy, those public works guys, gals, they've been working 24 hours a day on those split shifts," where can we take thanks? Like cookies or whatever.
The Public Works shop is down at 1000 West Pine. It's behind Evergreen School. And we have had a ton of those. And I just want to thank everybody for the folks that have come out and really thanked us for what we're doing out there. And those guys certainly deserve it. They're the ones that are out there in the middle of the night when everybody else is at home, dry and warm. They're out there trying to pull people out and keep people moving. But those guys are awesome at what they do, and they put a ton of time and effort into that.
With the state making this an emergency declaration here, will you be able to, the city, will you be able to apply for some budgetary assistance? I'm sure this has blown a huge hole in your public works budget that you were not anticipating for this winter season.
We have eaten through a lot of our budget.
I bet.
Street department's pretty thin already, and we have eaten through a lot of that. But the good thing is, in the past, we have been able to ask for some assistance. We have been tracking all of our time, equipment, material, all of those things in preparation for that. So we're prepared for that whenever we can get some of those FEMA dollars or some of that assistance in the future here.
Very nice. Well, I'll let you get back out there on the roads. I'm sure there's some work to be done.
All right. Thanks
so
much.
Good to see you. And Craig Gregory is the Shelton Public Works Director.